Here we are at Burma. I'm halfway through the first turn. If I continue playing, and that's a big if, for very long, I'll probably end up not going into a lot of detail on each turn. But since it is the first turn and I want to show a lot of what happened, well, halfway through the first turn. First thing that happened was I got I checked the weather, and it ended up being rain, light rain. Bad enough, though, that the turbulence prevented any real air missions. Which means the Chindits don't go into play. Allied air strikes can't happen, since the Allies have the strength in the air. It primarily affects them. But what did I do? Well, I pulled back the British or Indian troops from their positions. They were fairly exposed. Japanese had the option to go first. They chose not to. They probably couldn't have done a hell of a lot in terms of exploiting the exposed positions, cutting them off or anything. But then I came to the nightmare of the fact that I didn't set up any extenders. I was so busy trying to get my supplies out of the Japanese hands that my own troops had to eat lots and lots of supplies. Unfortunately, the first time I did it, it was twice what they were supposed to, but I rectified that as much as I could. Some of the units actually start out without supply available, and I had to pull back. So as it stands, because the British, well, pretty much everything on the Allied side supplies itself through the roads, well, through trucks. Even if it's foot units tracing supply, they supply through trucks. The only option is if there's donkeys or something like that around. Those actually trace differently. But what it means is all they can defend is right on the road. And that means there's these huge gaps going through the mountains where they're going to need some kind of means of stopping the Japanese from sneaking through. That's going to be pretty tough. I don't know quite how that's going to be handled. I had assumed once you get back to Imphal, you were in supply also. And that's not the case. You got to trace way back to here. That's the closest railway. Now, over on the Chinese front, I got to test out the combat system, as Clambo would put it, and it didn't go well. All my attacks so far had been decent troops against decent troops, more or less. Well, the Chinese are not decent troops, and these are the best Chinese there are. And even with the Galahad, the Marauders attacking, bad things happened. One of the Marauder units got knocked out. When it comes back, it only has one more life. Chinese lost armor and an infantry regiment. On the other hand, the Japanese were pushed back a little bit in places, and I don't know who won that little battle. Going forward with the road, though, that's cool at least. Yeah, and these Chindits, ones who are on foot, are managing to slowly penetrate. They're eating off the land, and that's kind of cool. A little bit of sake definitely helps play this game. Alright, so I kept all of the Japanese in supply that I intended to, I believe. Moving forward, grabbing some of that captured, some of that released terrain. Trying to move around to get Kohima out of supply. My goal is to try to cut this big supply line running from Imphal upward to whatever the hell that is. Dimamor or whatever. All right. Over on the American front, or the Chinese front, for the most part, the Japanese dug in or placed themselves in a better position. They pulled some units back from Bamo, whatever this is, and basically are trying to make it as painful as possible to get through them. Unfortunately, they failed on a foraging roll. Even with their high quality units, they have trouble there. Risk here, big one. I'm exposing some supply points, not a lot, but more than I'd like to, and all my water buffalo. If the Chindits come in, they're far away. They probably have something better to go take in Bamo. So, overall, I'm trying to devote as much as possible, three whole divisions on the Imphal region. Basically, with the 31st here being my main goal, to try to cut the line up here, because Imphal can't survive long with what it's got left.